So I'm going to your rent now, but now me pay. Oh.
Yeah, that time say, a new concert sika would your TV no. New boy thing etching with Danka.
Oh, prepaid NASA.
A new concert sika would your TV no. New boy ditching electricity bills.
He's done well to keep that in.
Dad, school fees.
A new concert sika would your TV no. New boy ditching my school fees. Start times dear. Yet Yasiapa. You never pay TV. You wanted just from MOPA to me share any swag. Into PA to me should be make your what they need. Start time TV. As I say, and you remember could any actually was sure dear. Then you now start times. Aye, start times. I be more premium entertainment. And no my yenny can nick a bema fee. I yet dead. The of course we are singing now. When you be okay, our start time so. Aye, wouldn't you say we here start time? Oh, the one.
Football cuts across all religions, all political parties. Let's come together and build our football. This is the sport that has made me who I am today. It is the sport that feeds millions of people. It is the sport that unites this country. It is our responsibility to hold on to this sport and ensure we leave a lasting legacy to generations Our football is coming back. We'll be a stronger force. We'll be the most beloved sports, and together we'll ignite passion and create world for each one of us.
Enjoy digital love.
Eager to see Ghana football rise to the level that it deserves, and that is why we are throwing our support behind the Black Stars of Ghana as they do battle against Mali in Bamako in the World Cup qualifier on the 6th of June. It is a game that the Black Stars are poised and eager to get a positive result from before they make a return to Ghana to face the Central African Republic as well. I've told you that the 2026 World Cup is a must qualify for the Black Stars of Ghana because we all want to go and cheer the Black Stars in USA, Canada, and Mexico. This is Star Times at the Patch Channel 247, and we are here to build up to that big Ghana Premier League game between Heart of Oak and Nations FC. But before we touch on that, let's quickly talk about the Black Stars of Ghana, because Coach Otuado on Wednesday named his 26-man squad that will be facing Mali and the Central African Republic as well. So the goalkeepers have Lawrence Atizigi, Joseph Wallacott, Frederick Asari as well. The defenders, that is where we have Gideon Mensah, Ebenezer Annan, and of course Mohamed Salisu together with Jerome Opoku. Abdul Mumin will be playing for the Black Stars for the first time. Alexander Jiku, who has a new manager because Jose Mourinho will now be coaching Fenerbahce, and Alexander Jiku will be playing under Jose Mourinho. Ali Duseidu is in there with Tariq Lamptey of Brighton and Hove Albion. Then in the midfield, that is where we have our star boy, the West Ham United midfielder, that is Kudus Mohamed with Enes Nyama, Salis Abdul Samed. Ibrahim Sulemana is also coming from Italy, where he is with Cagliari. He's joining the squad. Thomas Partey is in as the captain of the team with Edmond Ado and Elisha Wusu also in there as well. And that is how the thing looks like for the attackers. Okay, with the midfielders, there's also Abu Francis, who is part of the midfield. For the attackers, it is Osman Bukari, Abdul Fattah Ishahaku, Antoine Semenyo, who has had a good season with Bournemouth in England. Jordan Ayew is also joining the squad with Ibrahim Osman, also part of that 26-man squad there. And you have Brandon Thomas Asante also coming from West Bromwich Albion. He's also joining the squad, as well as Kamal Dean Sulemana, who plays for Southampton. They have gained promotion to play in the Premier League next season. So these are the men that will be doing battle for Ghana. So as I told you, we are in the studios of Star Times at the Patch on the 247. It is match day 32 of the Ghana Premier League, and today we will be at the Accra Sports Stadium as Heart of Folk come up against Nations FC. Today, 3 points are very, very precious to Heart of Folk. They need these 3 points to move further away from the relegation zone. It is a must-win game for the Phobians. They can't afford to drop more points at home because their last 2 games have seen them slam to a defeat. One was against Aduana, which they lost at home by a goal to nil. Then the other was against Asante Kotoko, which they lost by 3 goals to 2. So today, it is an important game for Heart of Folk. Quickly, let's go through all the fixtures coming up for match day 32 of the Ghana Premier League. We are starting today where Heart of Folk will be taking on Nations FC, and tomorrow it is Bechem United against Adriana. That game would also be live on this channel. Legon Cities will also face off with Bofo Aquatano. Then on Sunday we have lots of the games to play because Asante Kotoko will be taking on Great Olympics, with Brekum Chelsea also facing off with Real Tamale United. Dreams FC would be at home and welcome Karela United. Mediema have a date against Heart of Lions. In Swataman will be at the Nana Kramansa Park as they welcome Accra Lions. And Samatex, the league leaders, would also be looking at getting 3 points against Akwesiedu's Baby Gold Star. So let's see how that one goes. But today the focus would be at the Accra Sports Stadium as Heart of Folk come up against Nations FC. My name is Mutala Yakubu. It's always a pleasure to be in the studios of Star Times to work on Ghana football. It's a job I ideally love. But I'm not in the studios alone. I have company because my colleague Nadedu has joined us. He doesn't want me to call him Ernest, as he said in this year, but Ernest Nadedu is here. And of course, we also have Francis Aboibo Blackgate also here with us. Good evening, gentlemen. It's unusual. We usually do good afternoon, but I mean, times have switched. So good evening, gentlemen, and always a pleasure to have you in the studio. Francis, let's talk about the Black Stars of Ghana briefly. Otoado's first major game that he's going to be in charge of. I mean, he's played 2 friendly games already, one against Uganda and against Nigeria, but the first competitive game that he will be in charge of is this game against Mali. 26 men have been named for the assignment. Do you think these men are up to the task?
Well, I think it's an exciting squad if you look at where we are coming from, at the back of 2 humiliating performances in 2 major AFCON competitions in Cameroon and then in Cote d'Ivoire. I think what they are trying to do is to move away from the old guard. And if you look into this squad properly, you could tell that we have some exciting players in there. We have some few old guards like Thomas Partey. He's 32 years, if I'm getting his age right now. He's the deputy captain of the Black Stars in the absence of Andre Ayew, who has been dropped from the squad. He is the captain of this team. And if you look at the kind of caliber of players that we have now, basically, it's a new dimension for the future of the Black Stars. And I'm so excited about it. The only player that I felt shouldn't be called into this team is Abdul Salih Samed, because I felt he has been too poor in the AFCON, and when he went back to learn,
he's not had the best of season at
Lens. When he went back to learn, he barely made their squad as well. So if Andre, who is playing regularly, has been dropped, then I think Abdul Salih Samed himself should be dropped. Probably we could pick a local player for his position, because the new chap, Abu Francis, that has been invited to play, and the Cagliari guy, they are good midfielders and they can play that position properly. So I think it's like a loyalty bonus kind of a call-up for Abdul Samed. But aside that, I think I'm so much happy with the entire call-up that the Coach Otoado has put out.
So this is how the players reported to camp. You can see that full of life, full of excitement. All these boys have smiles written all over their faces, and you can see that they are happy to always be called to serve their nation, and they would put up a good show. But are you satisfied with the 26-man squad that Otoado named?
Yeah, Mutala, I think I'll give him between 80 to 85% by selecting the best available Ghanaian players across the world. You know, if there are names that are supposed to be in, aside injury, I don't think it should be up to 5. So I think Otoado, I will give him about 80 to 85% for selecting, you know, the best available players for the Black Stars ahead of a crucial game against Mali and Central African Republic. I always talk about this particular game in Bamako, the Mali game. It's a crucial World Cup qualifier and a destiny-changing match for most Ghanaians in this country, because I think that particular game holds the ticket the next World Cup, because I know Comoros are doing well in this particular group. The likes of Central African Republic want to do their best, but the main competition is between Ghana and Mali as to who will book their ticket to the next World Cup. Coming to the studios, I was monitoring the Malian national team squad, and the good news for Ghanaians is I didn't see Bissouma in the squad.
He's injured.
He's injured, so he's out of the game.
Yeah.
And the coach will rely on Amadou Haidara, Samaseko, and of course, Aliou Dieng of Elali Football Club. So they still have a strong squad to compete. You remember during the last AFCON, getting to the latter part of the AFCON, Bissouma was on the bench for Samaseko and of course Amadou Haidara to start in the heart of the midfield for the Malian national team. So despite Bissouma is not available for Mali, they still have a strong squad to compete against Ghana. So I think we have the best squad, right from their defense, midfield to the attack. Inak Williams is injured, that is why he's not part of the squad. A player Daniel Kofichre is injured, that is why Daniel Kofichre is not part of the squad. Daniel Amate, one of the experienced defenders we have as it stands now, is injured. That is why Daniel Amate is out of the squad. So Dennis Odoid, a clear example because of injury. And we still have about 3 or 4 players who have retired from the Black Stars prematurely. Players like Baba Abdulrahman, Alfred Duncan, Bernard Mensah. They have retired from the Black Stars
but
prematurely.
Baba has not retired from the Black Stars. He only told the coach that he's not ready to come back into the team. But the likes of Alfred Duncan have made it clear that they don't want to play for the Black Stars again.
So the 2 players have retired prematurely, and Baba Rahman is not ready to play for the Black Stars. So I think Baba Rahman's situation, I thought one of the best performing seasons when as a player is this particular season winning the Greece League with the Park Thessalonians in the Greece League. And I think one of the best seasons when individually as a player is this particular season. It's unfortunate he's not part of the squad, but Gideon Mensah was part of the French League 2 team of the season by helping Auxerre to qualify back to the League 1 together with Elisha Owusu. So it's good Gideon Mensah is back in the team. He will compete with players like Ebenezer Anai in the left back position. Don't forget Mohamed Salisu can also play as a left back. Jerome Opoku is doing well in the Turkish league. So we have a strong squad. The other good news is Abdul Momen had the same situation like Baba Abdulrahman or excusing home from the Black Stars in recent times. The good news is one of the informed Ghanaian central defenders playing for Rayo Vallecano in the Spanish La Liga. Abdul Momen is back into the squad. Tariq Lamptey, I'm hoping he will be injury free. If Tariq Lamptey is injury free, I think as it stands now, he's our best right back in the Black Stars team. He'll be good at this thing for us. Okay. A player like Ibrahim Sulemana, I've made a lot of noise about him on Sports Park. When you talk about the best DM now, when it comes to Ghanaian players performing in Europe, he's the main player for Cagliari. He's good, he's in the team for the first time to help the likes of Thomas Partey, Edmond Ado, Elisha Owusu, Abdul Saleh Samed, and of course, Francis Abu of Cercle Brugge. So it's a strong midfield. I was just looking at the attack. Apart from Antoine Semenyo and of course the new guy, the Asante guy,
Thomas Asante,
who are typical centre forward. We don't have any other centre forward in the team, even though Osman Ibrahim in recent times has been playing as a false nine for Northern.
Jordan can fill in as a centre
Jordan can play as a false nine as a centre forward for our team, and of course Kudus Mohamed can also play in as a false nine. But when we look at a typical centre forward in our team, I think it's only Antoine Semenyo and Asante guy at a centre forward. So I was looking at least cornering additional one player in that particular position into the Blaster. But as in all, I think it's a strong squad.
Okay.
Andre the Dai, the captain of the side, is out of the national team as it stands now. I think the day has paid his dues. There was still opportunity for him to come back into the team as time goes on. But Ghanaians will take it cool. I'm sure as we move forward, Andre Dede, Morgan, Rami Ayo will come back into the national team. He has done a lot. As it stands now, what Bob Blaster game than any other player in the history of Ghana football. So the day Ayo was a person, he needs to be celebrated. So we will find a way to manage this kind of situation within the national team. The day Ayo has paid his dues for the Black Stars. If he's out of this particular 2 games, I'm sure as time goes on, he will back into the Black Stars team.
He's made 120 appearances for the Black Stars of Ghana. But Francis, what did you make of his omission there? The coach explained that he had to travel to have a meeting with him, even though Andre Ayew didn't entirely agree with his decision to drop him. In the end, he's the coach and he goes with what he thinks is best for him at a particular point.
If you want to look at it from the perspective of football in terms, basically, you feel for Andre Ayew, because I feel like if there is a point in time that Andre should be undroppable, it's this particular call-up, because we also how he finished the season with Le Havre in the French League and this season. His goals basically played them out of relegation, and you will feel for him because he felt like he has given his best. You know, sometimes as a footballer, the only way that you can answer your critics is on the football pitch, and he has duly delivered. He has scored one. You know what? The goal he scored against Paris Saint-Germain or against Nice was voted as one of the best goals of the distance, and he even went to the League Awards Gala because
he was once the player of the match in France.
Understand? So basically, if you look at what he has done this the end of season, I think he deserves a call-up. But you know, I've always said this. It is the way we manage the call-ups in the Black Stars. At a point in time, he wasn't even playing. They were calling him. Now that he's playing, they are taking him out of the team. So I feel for him. The Andre I know is a fighter. He's someone that doesn't give up. And I know Andre will come back and play some matches for the Black Stars before he will get off the scene. Because that guy, in terms of mental focus, determination, and vision, he knows exactly the stuff he's made of. So I'm not worried at all about Andre. I see him coming back sometime in the future to play at least 1 or 2, 3 matches before he will go out, because he's still fit. If you watch him play.
There are new additions to the team. Thomas Brandon Asante has come in. Francis Abu has also come in. I mean, the integration, it's always the part that we are looking at. How you know Thomas Brandon Asante with West Bromwich Albion. I mean, he's joining the Black Stars. What does he bring to the team?
He brings you that kind of focal target man. He gives you that kind of aggressive central striker. He's not someone that drifts to the wings. He's quick.
Very quick.
He's very quick, and he has proven in the championship that when you give him the right services, he will pop up with the goals for you. So the most important thing for the Black Stars, you know, my problem with the central midfielders of the Black Stars is that they don't create enough chances for the strikers in terms of playing it into the attacking channels. They always love to play it backwards and sideways. So mostly we are being forced to create from the wings, and some of our wingers are over elaborative. Let's talk about Kamaldeen Sulemana. He picks the ball, he runs with the ball to the byline, then his end product is always suspect. You look at a player like Jordan. Jordan picks the ball, run, instead of giving passing, he will wait to be fouled. And at the end of the day, this current Black Stars team are proving that we are not prolific on set pieces, so it doesn't count. So the most important thing is to create premium chances, play quality passes into the attacking channels. As of now, the only person that has proven that he can do that for the Black Stars is Thomas Partey. So I'm so happy he's back to the team. But with Thomas Partey, his problem is the mood in which he will turn up to play on any given day. When he's in that mood to play, he can unlock any defensive unit with his creative best passing range. But his problem is sometimes he comes into games for the Black Stars and he goes off. You wonder the kind of Partey you are watching. But when he lights up the occasion, he is simply unplayable.
Okay. And that is why the coach have decided, you know, he want to go straight into tactics. So, you know, they started the training about 40-45 minutes. They started training at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium, and it's open to a lot of fans and the media this particular day. So as it stands now, you know, the Black Stars is training at the University of Ghana Sports Stadium. So I'm sure all these kind of things will be factored into their training regime before they move on Tuesday to Bamako.
We can only wish our Black Stars well, and we know that with Otuado at the helm of affairs, things will go the way we want it to go. And we'll go to Mali, Bamako, and show the Malians that we are a powerhouse as far as football is concerned. And we come back home and be the Central African Republic as well. So enough of Black Stars. Let's now turn attention to the game of the day, because the Phobians are eager to pick up 3 points against Nations FC. And Accra to folk would need to play above themselves, because their last game against Kumasi Asante Kotoko, a certain Stevie Desi Mukwala punished them, and Heart to folk have now lost back-to-back games. They need these 3 points badly in Anedu.
I think it's a crucial game. House of Folks will find everything possible to get the maximum 3 points. I spoke about this yesterday on GPA headquarters. This morning on Sports Park, I said it again. Ahoɔden soronko a House of Folk went through to get the maximum 3 points in Brekum by scoring training against Brekum.
But if not show that again,
they should use the same strength to play the rest of the 3 games in the Ghana Premier League. On Tuesday, the board members, in collaboration with some of the few management members, had a marathon meeting. Operation Save Us from going to relegation. Yesterday, about 80 past management supported leadership met at Swalaba, maybe at House of Folk Bobokono, the Oak Tree, did a lot of meeting discussing how they can save themselves from this particular situation they find themselves. So they know what is at stake. House of Folk will survive and do well in the Ghana Premier League. That is the most important thing in this particular game against Nations FC. It's a crucial game. When you look at Nations FC in this particular season, in their away games, it doesn't normally end in a draw. Either they beat you or you score them. So they should find a way to get a good result in games like this. So it's a crucial game for House of Folk.
Yeah.
Against Asante Kotoko, this game that we are watching.
Yeah.
They were not the bad side. The only difference was Stephen Mukwala. He made the difference for Asante Kotoko.
But they were not threatening on. They were not threatening on the day.
Absolutely.
Frederick Asari had nothing to do in the
That
post.
is why I'm really surprised. House of Folk has got good centre forward in general.
Yeah.
Than Asante Kotoko. Apart from Stephen Mukwala, the rest of the Kotoko centre forward may not get the opportunity to play for House of Folk. They have quality players in the team than Asante Kotoko. Kashala Ramos, Issa Kuka, Kasim Sise, Hamza Issa. A team already decided say they don't really need Kodo Bin Jr. again. It tells you the kind of quality they have up front.
Yeah.
So the last 3 games in the Ghana Premier League, they should show the quality they have in themselves and play good football for House of Folk.
Francis, this game, Heart of Folk were terrible defensively, and I think I'm sure Coach Ouattara, after looking at the clips again, has decided to make a change in the defense, which we'll tell our viewers about it later. But this is a game that many thought the Heart of Folk were going to play above themselves. It wasn't meant to be.
Well, going into the game, you could clearly tell that Hearts of Folk were struggling to put together some decent string of results in the Ghana Premier League. Because you look at Hearts of Folk themselves, they've won only 2 of their 9 league games. And Mutala, that is terrible. And every Phobian should be worried.
Yeah.
To win Hearts of Folk, winning 2 out of their 9 league games. And if you look at their form guide, it's Hearts of Folk have won only 2 of their last 5 games at home, and that is another terrible result for them. They beat Heart of Lions, and then probably they beat. If you can help me with the team, they beat again. I think Karela. They beat Karela as well. So apart from those wins, Hearts of Folk have lost 3 of their last 5 home matches, and it tells you that the team is really struggling for form. Look,
this is their last 5 matches that
in the
they
league.
played. They lost to Legon Cities by 2-0 before Accra Lions also beat them by 1-0. It was a home game for Heart of Folk, despite the fact that it was played at the Accra Sports Stadium. Then we also had Heart of Folk beating Brekum Chelsea by 3-0, and it was at the point where Heart of Folk supporters felt the team was getting back to shape, but then they've lost their last 2 home games, their last 2 games in the Ghana Premier League. 1-0 defeat to Aduana, then a 2-0 defeat to Asante Kotoko.
You see, so like as I was saying, if you look at the form guide of Hearts of Folk, there is nothing to write home about. And I wonder if the players go to bed, how do they feel? Because if you go close to the team and you listen to the coaches, they'll tell you the players come to the training ground, give everything, they do all the tactical permutations, they go into match, and the players play as if they don't even come to the training ground. And it's the mentality of the players. They've got to be focused on the job at hand. And Hearts of Folk, they have 3 matches to go, and they can't afford to even draw a single game out of those 3 matches. And the game Starting from this evening against Nations FC, who themselves have won only one of their last 5 home away matches in the Ghana Premier League. Since Nations FC beat Kumasi Asante Kotoko in Kumasi, all the matches that they've played away from the Abrankese Stadium, they've lost. So Hearts of Oak might pick solace from that and say, this is a team that we are coming to play against that are struggling themselves on the road, so we can punch above our weight and get the result out of them. You look at the defensive pair of Kofi Agbesima and Thomas Winimi against Kumasi Asante Kotoko, and you question how they manage to land at the camp of Hearts of Oak, because if you play for Hearts of Oak, you don't need to be making this kind of elementary errors. Route one ball played over the line, and the 2 centre backs are caught, found wanting, and you know Desi Mukwala is as quick as possible. They did that in the first half. He scored against them, and the second goal they let him to be all alone, and with the ball at his feet, he basically blitzed past them, weave his way through, and then smash the ball to hit the back of the net, making it 2-0 for them against Kumasi Asante Kotoko.
Okay.
This evening, Mutala at the Accra Sports Stadium, it is a make or break, whether they like it or not. It is a must win. Hearts of Oak cannot afford to go with a draw. They have to win at all costs to stand a chance to avoid relegation in the Ghana Premier League.
I think the Hearts camp is brimming with confidence. Even their bus driver is wearing the veil of confidence there. Linda Ntamge has been one of the creative force for Hearts of Oak, but this time it has not really been working there. So that is how Hearts of Oak made their way to the Accra Sports Stadium. And this evening they are poised for action to get all 3 points. Now they do Enyaman Koye and Momo. And that 3 points are very, very important for Hearts of Oak. How do they get that 3 points against a team like Nations FC who can cause them a lot of havoc?
I think they have to play, their normal games. The only thing is, tactically, the strategy that coach in the Beko game need to work for them to get the result that they are looking for. On paper, I always talk about these things. Hearts of Oak, they have a very good team to compete in the Ghana Premier League. They have a good team on a good day. They need to pick all their wins at home. Nations FC are not a bad side. They've done well, at least. They've managed to get 4 away wins in the Ghana Premier League. It means they've not been bad in the Ghana Premier League. But House of Oak should do everything possible to get the maximum win today. I was just going through their lineup, even though, this particular game is a crucial game for them. You can see right from the selection they could have done that, they are eager to get the maximum 3 points. So I'm tipping them to get a win today.
Now, Nations FC, Francis, are not in a dire situation where they need 3 points badly. They are 4th on the table. And let's talk about him, Kasim Mingo. What a transformation he's brought to Nations FC.
He's a brilliant manager. He's the longest serving coach in the Ghana Premier League, and he has proven to everyone that he's a quality coach. For Nations FC, debutants in the Ghana Premier League, last season they got promoted to the Ghana Premier League, and to bring him on board, we all saw how his former team, Bechem United, finished the season last season. And for him to come to Nations FC, in his first 5 matches with them, they were struggling.
Yeah.
But when they basically found their form, they never looked back. At a point in time, they were the only team that were basically pushing Samatex to the wall until they went on that, like about 4 matches winless streak. There, Samatex got opportunities to pull away from them. But if you look at their status in the Ghana Premier League as it stands, they've basically secured their position and they'll be in the league next season. And if you look at Kasim Mingle and the owner of the club, basically they work together to recruit some top-notch talent to add up. And for them to do this in their maiden season, Mutala, you ask yourself, how would it be if they get their targets in the transfer window, get them back into next season properly? You could tell that they will be a force to be reckoned with in the Ghana Premier League. This season, they played against, basically, they've had decent results against the top 4 clubs in the league. If you look at their results so far in the league, they are the only team that went to Century to beat Samatex there this season. So that tells you that they are playing some fantastic stuff across the division. But in their last 5 matches away from home, ever since they beat Kumasi Asante Kotoko, they've gone 4 matches on a winless streak away from the Abrankese Stadium. So their strength has basically dwindled on the road, but they need to put it back. Against a struggling Hearts of Oak team this evening, if they are in their mood, they can cause problem to Hearts of Oak. And if you look at the league table, it's a look at Hearts of Oak, 38 points, on par with Dreams FC, who have 2 games in hand to play.
Hearts of Lions have struggled all season, and it is shocking. They are on the same points with Hearts of Oak.
With Hearts of Lions, I've always said this, and Nanaidu has also echoed the same thing, that had Hearts of Lions started the season playing at the Pandu Park, they would never found themselves where they are. Because ever since they moved from moving around to the Pando Park. They've played 7 matches there. They've won 6 and they've drew 1. No defeats. So that tells you that the strength of the team lies at the Pando Sports Stadium. But now they are trying to punch above their weight to get themselves out of the relegation dogfight. And sources close to the club have indicated that they are not ready to take their foot off the pedal because they felt like in 2015 it was the head-to-head against Hearts of Oak that got them relegated. And this season, they felt like they can go to Mediama, get the results, come back to Pando against Legon Cities, and then they'll go to Brecum Chelsea. So I feel like the relegation dogfight will go right down to the wire, to the last minute of the final day of the Ghana Premier League. And that is what will make it so interesting. But I am keeping my eye on one fixture, Mutala, and that's going to be at Accra Sports Stadium between Great Olympics in match week 33 against Accra Hearts of Oak. It's clear that basically the team that will lose that particular fixture is likely to be relegated from the Ghana Premier League.
Well, let's see what happens today first. But Nanedu, you can see that the Hearts of Oak, one of the problems that they have is their lack of goals all around the pitch. There seems to be some over-reliance on Hamza Issa. So on days that Hamza Issa doesn't turn up, it means that the goals dry up.
That is a major problem for them. You know, when was the last time Hamza Issa scored? It was against Brecum Chelsea.
Yeah. Scored 2. I think what?
After that, Hamza Issa is struggling to even score goals. So it tells you when things are not going on well for Hamza Issa, it affects all the team performance. But they still have, you know, good centre forwards in the team. Kasim Cisse started well. I like his combination with, you know, Hamza Issa. All of a sudden, Kasim Cisse Aira. The start of the season, it was all about Kashara Ramos. It's not in the scene anymore. The last game against Asante Kotoko, Isakoka came in. It's been on and off. So, the person to partner Hamza Issa has been a major problem for the club. When you look at the selection, today it's Linda Intange, Utanga, Salifu Ibrahim. Tomorrow it's Linda Intange, Utanga, Salim Adams. The next day, Rafael Amposa comes in.
Yeah.
So it's been inconsistent when it comes to player selection for Abubakar Wata. That is why he's struggling. Look at his home games since he came to coach Hearts of Oak. 3 home wins, 1 draw, 3 home losses. Out of the 7 games that he has played in the Ghana Premier League, it tells you every home games Hearts of Oak struggle to win. The last 4 away games for Nations, they've lost all. The last 2 home games for Hearts of Oak, they've lost all. So it tells you going into this crucial game, both teams will have to do something right to get the result that they are looking for. That is why Hearts of Oak need to do everything possible. If they really want to survive in the Ghana Premier League, this is the game they have to get the maximum 3 points and move to 41 points on the league.
The only thing that Hearts of Oak could look at this evening and smile going into the game is the fact that Nations FC have been terrible on the road in their last 4 games there. They only won once against Asante Kotoko. Since then, they've lost to Royal Tamale United, lost to Hearts of Lions, Karela, and to Aduana as well. So things have not gone the way that Nations FC wants in their last 5 games. That is some result for them. They would also need to play above themselves today to ensure that they get anything from this game against Hearts of Oak. But for Hearts of Oak, their last 5 home games has also not seen them do that uniquely, because they won 2-1 against Hearts of Lions. Then they lost against Baby Gold Stars. I remember that goalkeeping error from Sharif. Yeah, in that game. Then they won against Karela by 3-1. Since then, they've lost back-to-back home games against Accra Lions.
5 home games.
Yes.
2 wins.
2 wins.
3 defeats.
And they lost to Ediana in their last outing at the Accra Sports Stadium. That is not good for us.
It's not good. Overall, in their last 9 matches, if you take it back, in their last 9 matches in the league, Hearts of Oak have won only 2. And those 2 matches are the one that you saw in the last 5 games. So if you look at what they are doing, it's just been a problem for Hearts of Oak. And they need to fix things right. If the problem here is, I feel it's not a technical problem. I feel it's not a management problem. It's the players. Playing for Hearts of Oak should put some pride in you. Playing for Hearts of Oak should give you some... So you can't just be a bad player and be recruited to Hearts of Oak. You owe the club a duty of care. You should know that you are being paid. It is your job. And all these players, about 90% of them, they've proven that they are not Hearts of Oak materials. They've let down those who recruited them to the club. See, you can't tell me Kofi Agbesima is a bad player. You can't tell me Michel Ampedu is a bad player. You can't tell me Glyn Otanga is a bad player. You can't tell me Salif Ibrahim, Issa Koka, Thomas Winimi, Linda Mtagi, and Dennis Kosa. These are experienced-headed players playing for Hearts of Oak. And they should be able to walk into any starting 11 of any team in the Ghana Premier League. So if you put these players together to play for Hearts of Oak and they are not giving out results, you look at the mentality and the focus of the players. What is their problem? To the best of my ability, they are being paid well. They are being catered for. They have a good training pitch. I went to Pobima. From the camp to the training pitch is a walking distance. It's not even up to 5-minute walk. So what is the problem? The players need to look at themselves and take responsibility. You can't blame Togbe Apede. You can't blame any of the management member because on paper, they've recruited some of the best talents in the Ghana Premier League. You understand? And if you look at this team, those who are performing are those that are like newcomers to the team rather. You look at the top scorer of the team. In the striker, Hamza Issa, who has 12 goals for the club this season. And you question players like Issa Kuka and Co, who has been with the team for some time, went to RTU, performed better, came back, and now they are back to the team again. So, the problem with Hearts of Oak, if you ask me, I can't really pinpoint their problem in terms of management. But if I'm being pushed to the wall to say where does the problem lie, I will basically say it's solely lie at the doorsteps of the players. Because some of them, when they play, the kind of performances that they put out is bad. You look at Kashala Ramos. Kashala Ramos is an international. You look at Kasim Sisi. He's an international player. He's an Ivorian. Kashala is from the southern part of Africa. So if you are playing for Ghana, for Hearts of Oak in the Ghana Premier League, you've got to be delivering. And you don't need to leave
Kashala is Congolese.
You understand? So it's a problem. It's a problem for the club. And I feel basically if they are able to escape relegation, almost half of this team should be chopped off because it's not working. You can't go into next season with this kind of attitude from the players. So it's a squad problem, and you can't leave it to the doorstep of the coach.
Ready, and Bobo, when you're Brianna.
I have no idea. We would have to. Maybe I'm sure another part.
Maybe they really want to get a win
during the pre-match interview. I'm sure another part. They asked the coach.
You know, I spoke to Kennedy Boachian, you know, in the course of the day, and they are eager to get the 3 points today. They are even looking at winning by 2-1 against Asofo. So I don't know whether that is the reason why they are eager to get the maximum 3 points today. Hearts of Oak need to be careful in today's game.
Of course, Hearts of Oak need to be careful, and both teams that was during the warm-up. By this time, they are in the dressing room preparing to come out for the first half of this fixture. But remember that the Ghana Premier League on Star Times at the patch under 247 is brought to you by High Sense, Midima for Hairback Clinic, JB Fresh, and of course Max Buy. We take a quick break here. When we return, we look at the lineup of the two teams. Hearts of Oak have made some.
So I'm going to your rent now, but now me fee.
Oh. Start time say. A new concert sika wuti ahwe TV no. Ne boy den eche wo danka.
Oh, prepaid NASA.
A new concert sika wuti ahwe TV no. Ne boy den eche wo electricity bills.
He's done well to keep that in.
Dad, school fees.
A new concert sika wuti ahwe TV no. Ne boy koye den eche wo school fees. Start times die. Yet asie pa. Yen never pay TV a. Ye woni ja form emo bia timi hwere ni so ade. Enti obia timi hwe bi. Ubetime ja nkwada nyina dia ma Start Time TV. Esan say, entie mabema nkwada ni achi na wasuo de. Ni nyina wa Start Times. Ai, Start Times ebe more premium entertainment. Anyoma ye nikanika ebe ma ufie aye de. Dia kwaso wiase nyina. Ubenya bia hwe our Start Time so. Ai, wunnim say, uhia Start Time. Oh, they was so tough form. Me say, enije de etuo ntwa da.
Star Times. Enjoy digital life.
So ntumi ntua rent na obetena me fie.
Oh. Start time say eni kwan say sika wutia hwe TV no. Ne boy ye den eche wo danka.
Oh, prepaid NASA.
Eni kwan say sika wutia hwe TV no. Ne boy ye den che wo electricity bills.
He's done well to keep that in.
Dad, school fees.
Eni kwan say sika wutia hwe TV no. Ne boy kwa ye den che wo school fees. Start times die. Ye ti ase pa. Ye na be pay TV a. Ye bo ne ja form am obi etimi hwere ni so ade. Enti obi etimi hwere.
It's match day 32 of the Ghana Premier League, and we are looking forward to a big fixture at the Accra Sports Stadium, where Accra to Folk will be coming up against Nations FC, and that game would be a game that Hearts of Folk will need to win and ensure that they move further away from the relegation zone, because they are lying precariously above the relegation zone. The coaches are ready to talk to us, so let's go to the Accra Sports Stadium, starting with the head coach of Hearts of Folk, Abubakar Watara.
Coach, good evening.
How are you, my brother? I'm fine. Me, I'm fine.
I'm also fine. Have you recovered enough from that defeat in Kumasi for this game?
We can never recover with the defeats against Kotoko. It's the challenge, but unfortunately we lost. No problem. But now we are trying to prepare today's match.
What has been the message to these players at training, especially when you look at their position on the league table? What have you been telling these boys?
The fact is there. We are in danger, and we need everybody to make his effort to put the commitment for Asofok. Asofok is not a team just like that. It's tough team in the world. Now we need the tough player who have the big experience. I think today the determination is there.
Your opponents expect you guys to come like wounded tigers. Is that the kind of approach you go into the game with?
Well, this is one of the strong team in the league at the second position. No, it's not easy. But we are going to try to do our best to carry the 3 points if it's possible. But I think we need to carry the 3 points. We will do everything today. We can try to do it.
I've looked through your lineup and I'm thinking that Otanga is not there, maybe because of international duties, but you've dropped your captain Agbesima today. Kuka drops to the bench and Salifu equally drops to the bench. What message are you sending across with this lineup?
The message is clear. If you don't make efforts, the game is not the football. I need the competent players who are focused for the game, not somebody who are thinking about other things. If you are not ready to play, I think you can't sit down on the bench with me. Simple.
The fans are scared of seeing Hearts of Oak go to relegation. What are you telling them before this game?
We are going to make everything possible to never go there. The motto is we never say die.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
The other day was not pleasant for you in Doma. What are you looking forward to in your visit to the capital?
Normally, in a football game, everybody comes to get the ultimate. We have 3 things in football: win, draw, and lose. So, but everybody aims at the ultimate. So we are here for the ultimate.
Between you and Hearts of Oak, who are the favorites to win this game?
Everybody knows we are the favorites to win the game. So we don't need to ask me.
What makes you think you are the favorites to win?
Look where we are lying. Look where they are lying. So definitely we are the favorites.
I've gone through your squad and you made a couple of changes. Obviously Kofi is not in because he's injured, but I've seen you've also replaced Aqua, Beko, Bedu and Boache.
They are all players of Nations FC. So if we replace them, we train together, so they can also play like those who were playing. So there's no problem about that.
How have you been working on Asamoah Boateng? When he was scoring goals, you are winning games. His goals are not coming, you are not winning games.
It will come, don't worry. We are working on it, so it will come.
Hearts of Oak are in a very difficult situation now. If you look at where they lie on the league table, they lost their last game against Kotoko. What kind of opposition are you expecting from your opponents today?
I know they are coming like wounded tigers, because if they lose this match, they will go to relegation. So they are coming to fight all out. We are also coming for our 3 points, so it will be very difficult for them.
Will you win?
Definitely, we're going to win.
You'll be happy to win to send Azovok to relegation?
I'm coming to win to get my 3 points. Definitely, if the team wins, is happy to win. We come to play to win. We don't come to play and lose. That's how football is.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Kasim Mingo is always playing with his words. He never minks words. He says that it should Hartlepool lose this game, they are going to relegation. But let's quickly go through the lineup of the two teams before we discuss what the coaches said. For Hartlepool, they are still maintaining Kwesi Inketia. Dennis Nkrumah Kosa is the captain for the side today. David Oponfrane has come into the team together with Michael Ampedu, Hamza Issa, Thomas Winemi, Martin Kakari is also starting, Isaac Frempong, Rafael Amposa, Sise Kasim is starting today together with Lenda Mtange. That is the first 11 of Hartlepool. For Nations FC, it is Jaffet Noviano in post for them. Emmanuel Boahen is the captain. Asante Boahen is also in there. Isaac Botre, Beruma Ba, Sadiq Alasa, Samuel Boate the free, Razak Simpson, Victor Drew, Richard Danso, and of course Abdul Karim. And these are the men also starting for Nations FC. On the bench for Hartlepool is Yama Kwabe, Salifu Ibrahim, Kofi Agbesima, Sharaf, Shayub, Isa Kuka, Gideon Asante, Boasura Seidu, Enoch Subontin, and Ramos Kashala. And for Nations FC, these are the men on the bench for them: Nafiu Sulemana, Emmanuel Konto, Kwame Boache, Richard Beko, Prince Aqua drops to the bench, Prince Badu, Michael Mensah, Wasita Entre, and of course Blankson Nyama. I mean, you've heard from the two coaches. One says that if you're not ready, you can't be in this team. That is why he's made changes to the team. That is Abubakar Ouattara.
He's spot on with that particular soundbite. If you are not ready to play for him, why will he risk it at this particular part of the season? When you doubt a player, you don't put him in there, because it's Hearts of Oak. It's now or never. In the last 3 games remaining for Hearts of Oak, they can't even afford to draw any of them. Looking at the teams that are all over their shoulders, so he wants to have his own destiny in his own hands. It starts from this evening's fixture. It's a blockbuster. You look at Kasim Mingo on the other side. He said it right there. Hearts of Nations FC are favorites to win the game.
Yeah.
Hearts of Oak are coming into the game as wounded tigers. He didn't say lions, wounded tigers. And Hearts of Oak knew very well that when they should lose this game, they'll be relegated from the Ghana Premier League. And he just hit
not entirely, but they will fall into the relegation zone.
In there. And when you fall in there with 2 matches to go, you know how the permutations of the Ghana Premier League works. And for Hearts of Oak, the writings are right there on the wall, and they've seen it, and they'll heed to the advice. Trust me, I see a determined, rejuvenated, positive attitude from Hearts of Oak coming into this game.
You had a look of surprise when Coach Kasim Mingo said, should Hartlepool lose this game, they go to relegation. I mean, if you look at the table, the standings, Hartlepool would fall into the relegation zone should they fail to get a positive result from this game.
Well, personally, I think in the modern day football, players make coaches, not the other way around. The Joseph Mourinho days, the only one, the special one, who make players who they are. If you football, that is why Pep Guardiola, Mikel Arteta, Xabi Alonso, Becro players to get the best out of them. We have 3 games to the end of the season. This is not the time to talk about players who are performing or players who are not performing at training grounds. Somebody needs to speak to Abubakar Ouattara. We are in crucial moments of the season for every Hearts of Oak supporter. Find a way to speak to the players in a nice manner, especially when you are granting interview outside. When you are ready to play. If you are not ready, I've dealt with serious players who are working hard at training grounds. This is not the right time to say these things.
I don't know how.
You need the result from these players. That is my personal opinion.
This is danger. Number 2. This is danger looming. What he said, there is nothing wrong with what he said.
Need to concentrate on his team. Then House of Folk lose to game, we have a relegation. House of Folk are coming into this game with a mindset to get the maximum 3 points.
Looking at the table as a pundit and as an analyst,
I'm sure that is why he said
Hearts of Oak lose this game,
they'll fall into the relegation.
You have to concentrate on your team. If you want to stop Hearts of Oak, you have to do it. You are rather thinking for Hearts.
And sometimes you need to get
but he has every right to talk about his
sometimes you need to get under the skin of your opponent.
I understand. But at this particular moment, concentrate on your team. Hearts of Oak, in today's game, they are playing the game like a World Cup final.
Sure.
They are playing the game like a Champions League final. And yeah, good year. I was just going through the Hearts of Oak lineup. The coach is going for a typical 4-4-2 game with 2 centre forward up front. Kasim Sisse
and Hamza
Issa. And he's going for Isaac Frimpong from the left. Martin Kakari from the right. They will switch. With Linda Ntange as a typical number 8 and Rafael Aponsa playing his favorite position as a DM because Gledo Tanga has gone to the DR Congo national team camp.
Yeah, he's not part of the Congo. He's not part of the team today.
So he's not part of the team today. And this is a key player in the Hearts of Oak team. Mutala has game of Mokobo is a crucial game. They need to get the first goal in the first 20 minutes of the game.
If not,
I'm picking them to pick the maximum win. But they should be careful not to concede in the first 20 minutes. And yes, some of these players only rich experience in the Ghana Premier League. Pressure will come on them when they are coming for the second half. Hearts of Oak should do everything possible to score the first goal at Accra Sports
Stadium. So the final 3 games for Hearts of Oak will see them play Nations FC in about some 5 minutes time. Then they come up against Great Olympics at home, their fiercest rival in the capital before the finish of their season against Bichim United. So it's a must win for them.
The most interesting about those 3 matches that were played on the board is Hearts of Oak. If you look at the last 2 games, in their last 9 matches against Great Olympics, Hearts of Oak have won only once. And you can't remember the last time Hearts of Oak have gone to Bichim to get a result. That is what makes this evening's match a crucial match for Hearts of Oak in their quest to avoid relegation from the Ghana Premier League. And the writings were there. Every single player before they departed from their hotel room know that this is a match that we need to earn our paycheck as players of Hearts of Oak. This Hearts of Oak we are talking about, a club that is more than 100 years. And the players got to understand that.
Okay, so it's that time that we cross over to the Accra Sports Stadium for the first half of this game. It is Hearts of Oak who are coming up against the Nations FC. A must-win game for the Phobians. Enjoy the first 45 minutes.
Hello, welcome to Friday Night Football at the Accra Sports Stadium. It's the last day of the month of May 2024 and it's match day 32 of the Ghana Premier League. It's crestfallen Accra as they walk up against 4th place Nations FC here in a game that many Phobians believe if they win, then they can survive in this season's Premier League. Nations FC, like Hearts of Oak, are also coming into this game from a defeat against the Adriana FC in Doma in Kro last weekend. The Phobians lost to their rivals at Asante Kotoko, and that was their 2nd successive defeat. They want to bounce back to winning ways. My name is Nana Dakwa Jesse. I'm your commentator for this afternoon's game here at the Accra Sports Stadium. This evening's game here at the Accra Sports Stadium, I must say, is Hearts of Oak up against Nations FC. When the 2 teams met in Abrankese in the first round of the league, Hearts of Oak held Nations to a pulsating 1-0 drawn game. And this evening, the 2 teams are in no mood to drop points.